Hi, it's Tracy Mooring here again. And if you went through my fitness journey with me, you noticed that I didn't do the full 18 days. I had a lot of other things that were coming up that I couldn't record. I did actually go through my full exercise regime. I was on my way to the Bahamas and I wanted to lose a little bit of weight. I have since then probably gained that weight back, mostly because I was on a cruise and I did expect that, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to lose the weight. Not so much for looking good, but so that I would actually feel about like myself when I got back. So I gained about 5 pounds back. I'd lost maybe about 2 or 3, so there you are. I actually gained about 2 pounds. So at any rate, I'm here during the Thanksgiving holidays, or just before the Thanksgiving holidays, getting ready to prepare a bread pudding. Now, my father had this wonderful recipe when I was a child. I don't like cooked raisins, so I'm not going to have raisins in mine, but you can certainly put any kind of fruit that you want to, whether it's a dried fruit or a fresh fruit, peaches. I'm going to actually be using fruit cocktail, which is one of my favorites. You can use any brand. Store brand is fine. Do not drain all of the juice off of it. Drain part of the juice off of it. You can use the natural juices. You can use the heavy syrup, anything that you want. This is not what we're going to be calling a healthy recipe, but it is very, very good. And you can certainly partake of just a little piece of it if it's something that your doctor doesn't have anything negative to say about it. In other words, if you're a diabetic, you might want to be a little bit more careful than other people might be because there are sugars in it. I am going to start out with giving you the full recipe. You're going to be needing 1 loaf of white bread. And I know that a long time ago people used to say you need a day-old bread or week-old bread or whatever. I think that's mostly because they just happen to have that bread sitting around. And that's where this recipe initiated, where people had leftovers and they didn't want to waste their food and they wanted a dessert or something else that was nutritious. And so they came up with the bread pudding recipe. I just go ahead and buy a loaf of bread, or if I have a loaf of bread, I certainly use that. And just happen to have 2-for-1 sale, so I'm going to be making 2 bread puddings this coming Thanksgiving, but I'm going to be making this first one so you all can get an idea of that. So you'll want 1 loaf of white bread. You'll need 6 large eggs, and the reason I'm saying large eggs is because the larger the eggs, the little bit more rich your dessert tends to be. That's why I do prefer large eggs to the smaller or medium eggs. You can use brown eggs, white eggs, it doesn't matter, whatever you'd like. 2 cups of sugar, and therein lies the non-diabetic meal. 3 sticks of butter. Now do use regular butter on this. Do not use margarine sticks or margarine bowls or whatever. You do want to use butter. Butter's actually better for you, not that we're making this a healthy meal, but butter is better for you. And these days you'll find out butter's a little bit cheaper than margarine because margarine became so popular over the last few decades that people have stopped actually eating butter, which turns out is better than margarine for you. So 3 sticks of butter, and it does taste much better. It's much richer. You'll also need 1 12-ounce can of milk. Now, evaporated milk is what I'm talking about. So you want a can about this size. Again, doesn't have to be a brand name, but you want evaporated milk. I'm going to be plugging a lot of things here that I generally use. Buy whatever's on sale. Evaporated milk. Store brand is fine. You will also need 6 ounces of regular milk. Now, you can use whole milk, 2% milk, skim milk, whatever you want. I have the whole milk here because my daughter just happened to buy whole milk. I usually use 2% milk. And 6 ounces is about 3/4 of a cup, or is 3/4 of a cup. So you want 3/4 of a cup of regular milk. Then you want 1 capful of vanilla, which comes out to approximately, a capful is going to be about a 1/2 teaspoon. So about a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Now vanilla used to come in the little caps that actually screwed off, like this one. Okay. So you would want to fill that with vanilla and then pour that in. But if you have the newfangled bottles here that have the top that pops open, just use your measuring spoon and use about a 1/2 teaspoon of that. You will also want a capful or a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now again, I use full, whole, real, well not whole, but real pure vanilla extract. Do not use imitation. I just don't care for imitation. It's going to make the recipe taste a little bit different. So get the pure vanilla extract. Costs a little bit more. Again, look for the sales. Before Thanksgiving, you're going to find sales out there. This was about half the price. Normally, vanilla is very expensive. But normally in my area, it cost almost $4 for this little tiny 1-ounce bottle. I got it for about $1.99. So stock up on it when you see it like that because vanilla can be expensive. So You also are going to have, now this is imitation. The lemon extract is also pure, but imitation rum extract. If you want to put regular rum in it, go for it. If you are an alcoholic, or know if you have alcoholics in the family, and I'm not doing this as a joke, this is serious, you may want to just use the imitation. You may want to just leave it out altogether, because sometimes the taste of alcohol will be a cause for concern. So you can certainly leave any of these things out. You can certainly leave out the lemon extract. Do not leave out the vanilla. If you're going to leave out the lemon extract or the imitation rum, then put in maybe one more capful of vanilla just to give it a little bit more flavor. Okay? And then you also need either 1 cup of raisins or 1 can of fruit cocktail. Now, I already told you about the fruit cocktail, so if you're going to be, you can mix them. You can have the fruit cocktail and the raisins. I'm not a raisin person. I like them raw, but I don't like them cooked, so I'm going to be using the fruit cocktail instead of the raisins. So I'm going to do raisins in one of my recipes here, and I'm going to be using the fruit cocktail in another, so that way people will have a choice. My husband prefers the raisin. He loves raisins and things, so he will be eating that. I probably will munch some of that too, because it actually really is good. I don't like cooked raisins at all, and this is one of the few things I will eat cooked raisins in. All right, and then you're also going to need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, any kind of cinnamon you want, but it does have to be the ground cinnamon. Okay, again, any brand that you want, store brand is fine. Cinnamon, I haven't found there to be a big difference in as far as the type of cinnamon that's used. If you want to get your own cinnamon and grate it, by all means do that. This entire recipe can be done completely by hand. You can actually make your own bread, set it aside, and use that. I've done that before. It's actually delicious. You can use whole wheat bread. You can use organic eggs. You can use organic butter. You can make this whole organic recipe. So there are ways to change things and make it a little bit better if you'd like to do that. So coming up, because I only have a short bit of time that I can do these little video vignettes in, I'm going to show you exactly what we do as far as putting our recipe together. So going over it all again, you're going to need for your bread pudding 1 loaf of white bread, 6 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, 3 sticks of butter, 1 12-ounce can of milk, 6 ounces of regular milk, which is also equivalent to 3/4 cups of milk, 1 capful of vanilla, real extract, 1 capful of lemon extract, and 1 capful of rum extract. Now all of those come out to about 1/2 teaspoon each instead of the capfuls. Now you are going to be using either the raisins or the fruit cocktail. And again, it's going to be a whole can of fruit cocktail or about 1.5 cups of raisins and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay? You want your oven set at 350. I'll see you in just a bit, and we're going to show you how to put all that together. See you later.